Right now, your lavender is entering one of the most important stretches of its entire year. What you do in these last few days of July decides something bigger than most people realize. It decides whether that plant stays compact and full, blooms again before fall, and survives winter, or slowly turns woody, leggy, and starts fading for good. Here's the problem. Most gardeners are still treating late July like it's early summer. They're watering too much, feeding it when they shouldn't, and missing one small job that only takes a few minutes. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your lavender needs before August arrives. And one mistake on today's list could quietly shorten its life by more than a decade. Here's the twist most people never expect. Lavender doesn't usually die from neglect. It dies from good intentions applied at the wrong moment. There are two mistakes, and they pull in opposite directions. The first group never touches their lavender because it still looks fine, and cutting a healthy-looking plant feels wrong. So they leave it, and every year, a little more of the base quietly hardens into bare wood, until the plant is mostly leggy stems with an ugly hollow gap in the middle. The second group does the confident thing. They grab the shears and cut it back hard, the same way they would with almost any other shrub. And that kills it outright, because lavender is different from nearly everything else in your garden. It will not regrow from old, hardened wood. Cut into that brown section, and nothing comes back. Not next month, not ever. So here's the twist inside the twist. Lavender is unusual because one part of it is still soft and actively growing, while the base is quietly turning into wood every single year. Understanding that difference is what keeps people from making the biggest pruning mistake of all. In a minute, I'll show you the exact line you should never cut below. But first, you need to understand why this window right now matters so much more than any other time of year. Here's the line. Every stem on a lavender plant has a point where soft green growth ends and hardened brown wood begins. Your entire job, every year, is to find that line and stay above it. Never cut into the brown. Green is your safety zone, but knowing where to cut isn't enough. Timing is what separates a healthy lavender from one that struggles all next year. Cut in the early morning, after the dew has dried but before the sun gets strong, because the fragrant oils sit at their highest concentration then. Cut at midday in full heat, and you throw away a good part of the scent you were growing it for. For the stage, don't wait for full bloom. That's already past its peak. Cut when roughly a third to half the buds on each spike have opened. That's when oil content is highest, not when the flowers look their most impressive. Take a handful of stems at once rather than working one at a time. Follow them down past the flowers into the leafy section until you reach a leaf joint, a small point where new growth branches off, and cut just above it at a slight angle. Remove about a third of the plant. On the larger types, you can take up to half. Always leave a couple of inches of green above where the wood starts. Never cut below the green. That's the rule to remember through everything else in this video. Here comes the mistake that shortens lavender's life more than any other single thing you can do. Waiting too long. Pruning doesn't just tidy the plant. It signals it to grow. New, soft shoots push out almost immediately after you cut, and those shoots need real weeks of decent weather to toughen up before cold arrives. Prune too late and you send fragile new growth straight into frost, and the damage weakens the whole plant heading into winter. That's why these last few days of July matter so much. Find your area's average first frost date, then count back roughly 6 weeks. That's your real deadline, not the calendar month. Once August arrives in colder regions, this window starts closing fast. If you garden somewhere with short summers and early frost, the honest advice might surprise you. Skip the hard prune this time. Just remove the spent flowers and save the real shaping cut for very early spring instead. Skip this job altogether, and here's what it actually looks like, not just what it means. First, the flowers move to the tips. Then the stems stretch out and go floppy. The center opens up into a bare gap. Before long, you're staring at a plant that barely resembles the full, rounded lavender you planted years ago. Done right, this same plant can live 15 to 20 years. Left alone, it's often finished by year 6. One job, done in 1 week, is the entire difference. Pruning is only one part of the puzzle. This surprises most gardeners. 3 other things done during these final days of July can undo all your hard work, and none of them involve a blade. First, don't feed it. A freshly cut plant looks like it could use a boost, but that instinct is wrong here. Lavender comes from poor, rocky soil. Feed it, especially with anything high in nitrogen, and you get soft, floppy, leafy growth at the direct expense of flowers. Second, don't water it more. Established lavender is a drought plant built for dry, sun-baked ground. What actually kills lavender more than cold or pests is wet roots. Soggy soil rots them from below, and the plant is gone before you notice a problem above ground. Third, don't mulch right up against the base. A thick, moist mulch packed against that woody crown traps water exactly where the plant can't tolerate it. If you mulch at all, use gravel, not bark, and keep it away from the stems. But that's only half the story. What if your lavender has already gone past all of this? Already woody, already splitting open in the middle. If yours looks like that, don't skip the next part. Most people assume a plant like that is beyond saving. Sometimes they're wrong. Here's the twist for anyone already staring at a bare, splitting lavender. Get down close and look for green. Not leaves at the top, tiny new shoots pushing directly out of the old wood itself. If you find that, there's still life to work with. If a stem is fully brown and leafless with no sign of new growth anywhere, that stem is finished for good. You don't fix a woody lavender in one afternoon. You fix it over 2 or 3 seasons. Work one branch at a time, cutting each back by 1/3 or half, never into the bare brown, always leaving green behind. Do it again next year, and the plant slowly rebuilds itself instead of collapsing further. What you must not do is decide to be bold and cut the whole thing back hard to renovate it in one go. That isn't a rescue. That's the fastest way to lose it completely. And here's the honest part. If your lavender is heavily woody and split wide open already, pruning may extend its life a little longer, but it won't bring back the plant you originally had. Even done perfectly, lavender has a lifespan. English types can give you 15 to 20 years. At a certain point, the right move is taking cuttings and starting fresh, because this was never really a plant you keep forever. It's one you keep replacing, one honest cut at a time. If you remember just one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't let these last few days of July slip by without checking your lavender. A few careful minutes now can mean years of healthier growth, fuller blooms, and a plant that keeps thriving long after this summer ends. Green is your safety zone. Never cut below it. And everything else, the timing, the feeding, the water, the rescue, all of it exists to protect that one simple line. What does your lavender look like right now? Full and green, or already turning woody at the base?